Hey, there we go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be where you are. Welcome back to the live stream. My name is Jeff Fritz, and today is October 9th, 2019, and we're going to write a little bit of code today. How's it going out there, chat room? And a happy Yom Kippur to all of our Jewish friends out there. My family, my kids have off of school. The public schools around here have off for the Jewish holiday. So we got to spend some time with them this morning. That's why we're starting a little bit late today. Gosh, chat room, a little bit active over there, huh? Take a look at this. Good morning, Wolfhound Jesse. Who else is here? Shy Sharp, Electric Havoc, ISO Optolator. Hello, hello. Job in PA in Costa Rica. Is it Job in PA or is it? Let me know. Let me know how to pronounce that. I think I'm pronouncing it wrong. DD Walsh, a cold morning in Bellevue. Wait, you have Peeps cereal and Diet Coke? Oh dear Lord, the sugar. Oh my goodness. Coated Beard, good to see you. Svava Blount, what mischief?
Greetings, my excellent friend.
No, that's not right. That's not right. There's a different. No, what mischief? We're going to have so much mischief today. We're going to fix things. We're going to make things better. All right. The Michael Jolly, not just any old Michael Jolly. The Michael Jolly is here. Good to see you. Mia Zupan. Hello, hello. Mr. Prog Father. Hello. Brave Cobra. Good to see you, my friend. Pascal Jobin. So Jobin plus PA. Okay. Or Jobin Pa? Jobin Pa? Let me know. Jeebus Cool Prees. Good to see you. Is that P. Desterlich? All right. Good. From Switzerland. So Desterlich. Haha. Two Wolf. Hello. All right. Let's get into this. I've got a little bit of an issue here. Michael Jolly, you're not wrong. Dee Dee's diet consists of donuts, Peeps cereal, Diet Coke. Yes. Dee Dee goes very well with sugar. Oh my goodness. Hey, Funny Rinders is here. Train delayed, so I have some time to kill. Join us here. This is going to be fun. I'm trying to release some memory resources so I can restart my VM here for our Linux VM that we've been working on. This is, of course, Ubuntober. We're doing more Linux all month long, and it's been tremendous here. Okay, I'm trying to fix the lighting on my hat here, right? Because I've noticed that I'm very bright, and I'm having a real hard time with that. I don't know. I'm going to have to tweak that a little bit. You got an ice cream donut last week. Yeah, in San Diego.
And then?
Yeah, Dee Dee went for an ice cream donut. That's a little extra. Yeah, there's a little bit there. So when last we spoke, I think we had a really great stream yesterday. I hope you enjoyed it as well. We spent a lot of time working through all the nuances of connecting to a development instance running locally, not just locally, but inside of a virtual machine on my machine here that we could connect into from Twitch. Twitch was making a call into us, and we were using, come on now. We were using a tool called ngrok to be able to make that connection, and it was tremendous. We got callbacks from the Twitch service all the way down into our virtual machine, even though my machine isn't on the public internet. I'm behind a firewall here in the house, and the virtual machine clearly doesn't have direct access out to the internet. So we got this set up, and it was working beautifully for us yesterday. So let's dig back in there. Now that we have it working, let's tune it a little bit. Let's refactor and address some of the issues, some of the logical issues that we identified yesterday as we go through and we work with receiving webhooks from Twitch. Give me a second. From Twitch when a follower is notified. What's going on there? It's explained above. Where is it? Pascal, is it Jobin or Jobin? So, yep. Now let's break it. I agree, IsoOptolator. We're gonna break it. We're gonna make it a lot better here today. I've got my platform 9 3/4 hat on here. Let me get some music playing here in the background. Today, let's go with, this is Yellow. There we go. This is music to code by. It's designed to get you in the flow, get you in the groove, so that whatever task you're working on, you just kind of get in that flow, get focused. Really great stuff. mtcb.pwop.com. Check out the music command there in the channel, and you can get in the groove. Get your own copy as well. All right. There we are, back in our Linux VM. You can see I've even got the VM doodad pinned to the top so you can see I am running Ubuntu 18.04. You think Yellow is one of your favorites, says Hugo. I kind of agree. This is a good one. Yellow and Cyan, I think, are my two favorites right now. So, let's take a look-see here. When last we met, we had some very interesting interactions. That we left off with. Let me refresh here just to see if there's any pull requests. Didn't think there would be. Ooh, that's a good idea, Hugo. We need some getting started instructions. That's a good idea. Remove the ngrok platform binaries from this repository. Scripts to go fetch it. Not opposed to that. Not opposed to that. We can do something about that. Is Carl selling vinyl? No. No. You lean towards Azure. You want to break Azure? We can do that. Tried to do some yesterday and got hung up on getting Twitch keys. Ah. Did I get your message? There was a message. This isn't a bad idea to remove the platform-specific binaries from the repository. We can definitely do that. Let's see here. Alright, let me back off of this. We can take care of that. Some simple getting started instructions. Which configurations elements do I need to set up or update? Twitch configuration and authentication setup. True. How to test this locally behind the private IP. So how to set up ngrok. Not bad. I don't think these are instructions that we want to type up together here on stream, but definitely something to do and kind of show the results of. But Hugo makes some very good points here that we should address and make it a little bit easier to work with this. We're doing great, TBD Gamer. Alright. Let me do this. I want to look at these ones right here. And particularly, I think I want to start with this one. So we've set up a follower service, okay? We're using the actor model throughout our C# code here so that we can stand up various discrete components of this application that we're going to connect into, execute messages within, right? Handle those messages, do something with, and process and send that information on to somewhere else. And one of them that we're working with is, in fact, where is it here? There it is. This follower service actor. And what this does is sets up the connections so that it starts tracking channels and listening to webhooks for those channels so we can receive follower notifications like this one. Thank you, Hazelnut. Welcome. It's great to see you here in the chat room, and I look forward to hearing from you. Great to see you on the channel. Look forward to seeing you in the chat room. I forget my own phrase on that. We'll get it right. I promise. Are we using a NuGet package to integrate with ngrok or rolling our own? I'm not integrating with ngrok per se. I'm just listening to it. There is a NuGet package out there for ngrok. We could do something with that. Hey there, MBB. How is everyone doing today? Doing pretty good. It's Wednesday. Hump Day! Yeah, that's a thing, right? Hump Day? Isn't that what, right? All the camels come out for Hump Day? Something like that? I'm looking for the appropriate. I don't see it. Why don't I see this? I can't find it. I can't... Ah, there we go. Should be a sound effect? I don't know. We could do something, but I don't know. Hump Day. We'll figure it out. Alright. We have... So, this adds to our list of channels that we're tracking. Whatever channel it is that we pass in on this track new follower message. And this comes through. There's this method here, subscribe to Twitch webhook, that we put all the goo, all that nonsense that we have to format to connect to Twitch, we put it all right here. And in particular, and this is where I think Michael Jolly is suggesting, there's this configuration here for what the endpoint is that we're listening on. Because we have to tell Twitch the URL that we're listening on. So they send us a message to that domain name. Okay. So we can figure this out. We can optimize that a little bit. I need the mic sound, but maybe we could. It might even just sound better with me doing it. Wolfhound Jesse. Hey, mic. Something like that. Rambling Geek, you're very welcome for the jersey. It's a little known fact. I spelled Rambling Geek wrong. I spelled Rambling Geek wrong. I'm sorry. But it does. They all look. I've been seeing pictures rolling in from our various live coder friends, and they all look magnificent. I'm so happy to see that folks are really enjoying this. There we go. Developers Garage just posted a picture of theirs on Twitter. Oh yeah. Very cool. You watch me to get away from hearing Mike. All right. So there's a couple ways that we can handle this. So there is...
And then?
Well, no and then. No and then yet. We're not there at the end then.
Oh my.
That's right. So there is an ngrok package that we can go after. What is all this? No, go away. NuGet.org ngrok. And this might help us get rid of having that that binary sitting here. So what this does, extensions to start ngrok automatically from the ASP.NET Core pipeline used for local development when a public URL is needed. Yes, please. Let's take a look at what this does. And this might help clear up a little bit of that. So add ngrok to your service registration. Okay. Start ngrok init. Start ngrok async. So these, I think, are things that we want to do when we're in development mode. When the application starts up, ngrok will launch automatically, create a tunnel to the application. If ngrok is not installed, it will be downloaded automatically. Automatically. Really? It's automagic. Can be configured when registering it in the services collection by passing in an ngrok options instance, ngrok path, application HTTP URL. It will default to the first HTTP URL registered. We're going to need to override that so it goes to the HTTPS version. Name of the config profile. So this might be a little bit easier way to do this. Thank you for the tacos. Oh my gosh, what happened to the sentiment there in the chat room? Help me out here, friends. He and the girls stole all of Michael Jolly's live coders swag except for one button. Oh. Mr. Progfather says, haven't really developed in .NET since 4.5 and C# is a bit rusty. Do I recommend any sort of crash course? Mr. Progfather, I'll ask some questions. Do you, are you going to be doing ASP.NET? Are you going to be doing Xamarin? Are you going to be doing desktop development? I would definitely recommend taking a look at .NET Core. If you haven't done anything since 4.5, .NET Framework 4.5, you're going to find that a lot of what you know from .NET 4.5 still works in .NET Core. It works very well. ASP.NET has changed significantly, completely rewritten so that it's concept compatible. Once you get past the initial configuration things, controllers and views and Razor all kind of looks the same. It'll all be ASP.NET. So we did an ASP.NET Core workshop live here on channel. The video is over on YouTube. It's on the YouTube channel if you'd like to go check that out. And it'll talk to you about how to get started with the pipeline, how things are configured, how dependency injection is configured by default in the new ASP.NET Core, and how Web API has kind of gone away, and you now just have an MVC, a controller endpoint, that will respond with either views or API behaviors, depending on how you format things. So we'll show you a little bit of that. So, all right. And thank you, Hugo, for the link to YouTube. So, Blazer Mr. Magoo is here. Good to see you. All right. Hey, the Mindful Coder is here. Hello. So let's try dropping in... excuse me. Let's try dropping in this ngrok package. See if we can use this instead. And I think what we're going to end up doing is putting a check here. If we're in development mode, use ngrok. If we're not in development mode, go pull the URL from a configuration parameter. Kevin Griffin!
One Kev Griff just resubscribed for 6 months. Woo woo.
Woot woot indeed. Thank you so much, my friend, with the Twitch Prime, and we'll make a donation to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, as we are with all of our subs and all of our cheers this quarter. Thank you so much. Now, I have to tell you, my friends, that Twitch is gently encouraging me to run an advertisement in the middle of the stream. If we run ads in the middle of the stream, first off, they're telling me that you'll get picture-in-picture if you are not currently a subscriber. So you'll still be able to see what's going on. They also tell me that if I start running ads in the middle of the stream, the pre-roll advertisement, that ad that you see at the beginning of the stream when you first tune in, will go away. So I'm going to try to run an ad here in a little bit. I'll find a place where it makes sense, where I'm going and trying to find something, and we'll run a 30-second ad. Yes, they are gently encouraging. So, I want to let you know, I'm not particularly a fan of running advertisements during the stream, but if it helps to remove the advertisements at the beginning, and subscribers don't see them, and folks that aren't subscribers still get to see what's going on, I'm okay with that. Yeah, gently encouraging like a spouse. So, Twitch is not telling Microsoft to run ads. No. They're telling their partners to run ads. MBB, you've said the word Docker enough in that it might trigger Robert Table showing up. The question is, have I had much experience with Docker? Yes. At what point does it become nearly a requirement to use Docker? Docker's an interesting thing, and before I get too far into this, this may actually feed in nicely to this conversation around how we're going to specify this URL callback. Docker is tremendous for being able to isolate functionality, make it very easy to load with very little configuration, deploy and have exactly the configuration you need for your application built and sitting there wherever you might need it. It's effectively become the deployment unit for at least server-side applications. Because just like you would have an MSI or some sort of install package that you would use for desktop applications, being able to package up that server-side application into something small and reusable that's easy for your operator folks to pull down and launch with very little configuration, that's a tremendous way to deploy things. There are things that you might want to run locally that become very easy then to also kick off and run from inside a Docker container so that you don't have to install all kinds of configuration things. And I'm thinking specifically about if you want to try something like Jupyter Notebooks. Jupyter Notebooks are a way for you to learn and try some Python interactions, and it requires a Python runtime to install and a website to be configured and a whole bunch of stuff that if you're not on Linux or you're not on Mac and you don't want to contaminate your system by putting that stuff on the bare metal, becomes a little bit tricky to install. But there are Docker containers that you can launch and run as an application. Open your browser, navigate directly to the Jupyter Notebook URL, and you can work inside the container from outside on the host machine. So it's a nice way to also have that containerized application. When is it a requirement to use Docker? I would strongly recommend, if you're deploying anything to a production space, put it into a container. Especially if you want to be able to scale it. You want to be able to run 2, 3, 4 copies of that, dozens of copies, put it in a container. It becomes real easy to start up multiple copies of it. Stelzy, you're right. If you have a crazy dependency tree that might mess up the system, put those dependencies in a Docker container and it could become a heck of a lot easier to use. Kevin Griffins chimes in saying, number one use case for Docker is running a Redis or Mongo instance on local machine without having to configure them. Yes, that's a great idea. If you've got a debug instance or a development instance of a database that you want to run locally and you don't want to run a whole nother machine for it, and you want to just start up Redis, Mongo, MySQL, even SQL Server, it's real easy to just start up a little Docker container and have it save its content, its data to disk to the host machine. So you can always start that and have all the dependencies to run that service sitting there ready to launch from within a container. I'm glad that helps out MBB. Best of luck to you. Mia Zupan runs Redis on WSL. That's cool. Nick Larson, happy Wednesday to you, my friend. It's so good to see you.
Bazinga.
Bazinga, indeed. All right, let's take a look at how we can use this ngrok plugin here. So the ngrok, right? This package is called, where'd it go? I scrolled right past it. ngrok for ASP.NET Core. What was the package name for this? Do they have a? They don't have a. If you're going to create a NuGet package for something and you're going to register it in the public repository, it's probably a good idea to put one of those little shields IO things here so we can click through and get back to your NuGet package. Okay. It makes it easier for everybody to find it. The more you know. All right. So let me go back one. Right, ngrok ASP.NET Core. All right, we're gonna do that. Let's put this. I don't want to do that. I mean, I could do this at the command line. Sure, let's do this at the command line. Right. So let me do this. So Control backtick in all the operating systems will open the terminal for Visual Studio Code, and I'm running Visual Studio Code here on Linux. Inside a VM on Windows 10. Right. So I'm going to paste in .NET add package, ngrok ASP.NET Core, and that'll add this package to my project so that I can run ngrok as part of the startup. Looks good, I think. I don't know. All right. So what I should be able to do, if I follow the instructions properly, over here. So we're going to say in service registration, configure services. We're going to say services add ngrok, but I only want to do that when I'm in development mode, not just debug. So I'm going to go up here, and I should be able to look at my environment variables. I'm also noticing I've got a ton of services I'm registering at this point here. And I may want to break this out and make it a little bit easier to read and see all the various services that are being configured. I'm trying to close you down there. Okay. There is a way to get the hosting environment here, but I can't receive it there. Right, iWebHost environment is made available down here. Have I considered changing my prompt? It's like my whole terminal line. The Mindful Coder. I've heard folks suggest I could do that. Do you have some suggestions? I'm open to some suggestions to try out and learn a little bit more about Bash and using something that's a little bit more productive for me here on Linux. Let me know. All right, so I need to get the environment name here. Gutierrez. Yes, this project does have aka.net. That's correct. And we'll be tinkering around those couple of actors a little bit over here. So where'd it go? I wanted to put it right before add MVC, so I can kind of group my web stuff in the same place here. So it was add ngrok like that. Do I have to? Yeah, I need a using statement there. All right. Now I thought there were options that were gonna, yeah. So let's say options. Right. And I want to specify the application HTTP URL is going to be, now is that a URI or is that a string? What's it want there? Come on, give me something. You're making me sad here. It's a string. Okay. So let's make it HTTPS localhost 5001. Okay. Need to edit bash RC and add PS1 myfunprompt. Control backtick is a bit hard to hit on most English keyboard layouts. It's always a hassle if an app game doesn't let you change it to something more sensible. Yeah, there's something we can do with there. Pizza.
Peace_A_pizza just resubscribed for 5 months.
Thank you so much for that. And we'll make a donation to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. iActor Ref. Yes, we use iActor Refs all over the place here. Yes. So we're going to try and bring in ngrok and have it run locally here. Make this a little bit easier to interact with. I don't need that open right now. Goodbye. So, okay, we also need to, after builder build, say await start ngrok async. Alright, fine. Still need to figure out how to determine if we're in development mode and launch that. But we'll take care of that in a little bit here. So let's call this host. And right here, now I can make this async. Public static async task. And I need to get a using statement. No! There should be a using statement there. Host.start and right, builder.build. There it is. Host.start ngrok async. Why doesn't it have the thing there? Yeah, I could use PowerShell here, but I don't want to introduce a local. What's it doing? Excuse me. I'm not getting... No, I don't want that. Right, where did it go? There was... Ooh, look at all those using statements. Do I just need to bring this over? Like... No, why doesn't it like this thing? Ngrok extension start ngrok async iWebHost. It requires a receiver of type iWebHost. Well, what is this? It's just an iHost. Oh, no. No! Yeah. So what's happening here is this has not been updated for the changes in ASP.NET Core 3. So I'm not going to be able to use this. Yeah, it's only up to date. Ooh. Okay, so they're... No. I don't think we're going to be able to use this. It is. It's the old ASP.NET Core 2.0 way. So I'm not going to be able to do this because it doesn't hook up appropriately to the configuration. Because it's using a different API. So, yeah, we're not going to be able to do this. Womp womp. Bummer. Angry Little Hamster says ASP.NET Core 2.0 is not old. It's not. It's not old, but we've moved on and we're using ASP.NET Core 3 here. So ngrok, right? There's a comment there, and there was a question about it. It's being used for, tunneling, so that when we set up this webhook over here, where'd it go? right? We're going to set up and request a webhook from Twitch. We want Twitch to be able to hit a public address and be able to communicate with our development instance of the application. So it's providing this tunnel from the public web all the way down to my development machine here. Use the create default builder, configure web host options. Let me see, what do we got there? Configure web host options and put it in there. Let's take a look, see. Let's look at this suggestion from Karsten Pett here. So web builder is a web host builder, and this is looking for, okay, right, it's looking for an iWeb host, right? We're in the middle of iWeb host builder here. Yeah, it's not the same. So I'm not going to be able to start it asynchronously up here on the side. So it's not quite. Don't panic, Flip. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate you joining us. Just quickly, PR 3.0 changes. I'm not going to get involved with making changes to ngrok from here. That's something we could do for another time, but I don't. It's going to take me significantly out of my way on building and working with this application for right now. So, it's one thing to be distracted.
Squirrel!
It's another thing to go and completely update somebody else's project for them in the middle of working on my project. Is this Ubuntu 1804? Yes, it is. You are correct. 1804.2.
Oh my.
You see up here. What? Nothing strange is happening. We've got this. If someone would like to make those changes, yes, that would be very cool if those were to be sent through. So I'm going to leave ngrok on the outside of this and wait and see if we can get that package put in play for right now. What I would like to do, though, right? So it's available. It's being passed through. What I'm about to run into here, and here's where I think I need to be a little judicious, I think. Our channel manager actor. So this is an actor that manages all the different channels that our bot is going to be listening to. Not a problem, GD Lucas. Not a problem. We're passing more and more dependencies in here for it to hand out, for it to deliver to other actors that it starts up and manage. Our channel our channel manager actor is at the top of our actor hierarchy. These objects are going to manage all the business logic inside of our application. And we're passing in all these different dependencies for it to resolve and hand off to different things. Excuse me. I know there's a way that Akka.net works with dependency in IOC containers, just like our services here, right? Our service collection that we're going to be using, and the service provider that ASP.NET provides. I could pass in the service provider and do all of these things inside of the channel manager actor, and when the next thing comes up that the channel manager actor needs to create to pass on to a new object, a new dependency, just have the channel manager actor do it in there instead of here and keep growing this object. Does that make sense, chat room? Am I on the right page? Because I'm seeing, right, consider this. Channel manager actor create. Look at this. What we've done here is we've abstracted away the construction of the channel manager actor, which now has 4 input parameters. That's a pain in the neck to manage. You know what I'm saying there? So we're getting more and more of these dependencies that we're passing in that it doesn't actually use, but it hands off to something else. And the channel manager actor is developing that smell of being a god class. Relevant Jesse, thank you so much for raiding the stream. It's so good to see you, raiders. Duck, dodge, and defend. What is this, dodgeball? Hugo? Welcome. It's so good to see you, raiders. Thanks so much for coming in. My name is Jeff Fritz, and we're writing a little code. This is Ubuntober. It's not just October. It's Ubuntober. We're programming in Linux with .NET all month long, and we're continuing working on this distributed chatbot using Akka.NET and the actor model. So we're learning a little bit of architecture, and today we're refactoring how we interact with webhooks. Relevant Jesse, I was going to ask, how did it go today? You finished all of your sprint work. Nice. Nothing interesting left to stream? That's when it's time to stop. We finished. Stop. Thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate the raid. So here's what I'm going to do. Oh, unit tests. Yeah, that's a good thing to add there. You're not wrong. So let's do this. Unit tests. Never heard of them. Relevant Jesse, of course, is another member of the Live Coders team. Make sure you check out his stream. Can we get a shout out for Relevant Jesse there? So other folks can find him and check out what's going on over there on the most relevant stream that you've seen. We're not doing unit tests right now, at least. All right, so let's do this little bit of refactoring. Here's what I'm going to do. I am going to start this little bit of refactoring where I'm going to swap out so that the create statement is taking the actor system and the iService provider here. Right? I can do that. Yeah. And then, yeah, I said it then. I'll simplify this and stash a copy of the iService provider in our channel manager actor, so that as these other dependencies come up, we'll just request it from the service provider directly. You're right, Viasu. We need to we need to set that project. Let me set that real quick. Simplifying our webhook management code at let me give you the GitHub link in this. github.com /Fritz Quiltoni Pixelpop. There you go. Now you've got a project. Thank you. So, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try. I'm going to try. Excuse me. I'm going to try running a 30-second ad while I start refactoring here. I do not use autofac for IOC. I'm just using the default injection container here. So I'm not going to take any questions. I'm not going to talk a little bit here, but I'm going to kick off an ad and do this refactoring here real quick. So when you come back, hopefully I'll be done with this little bit of refactoring here. All right? Stay tuned as we're supported by these commercial messages. All right. So I'm going to take all of this here. I'm going to remove that. Put them somewhere down here. And I'm going to get an iService provider. this service provider. Give me a capital on that. Okay. So let's create that as a read-only property. Good, got that. Was that it? Was that it? Well, if you're a subscriber, you will not see the ads. That's right. So, you didn't see the ad? It ran an ad. It tried to run a 30-second advertisement. So, what happened there, Fairy? FYI. What FYI? Oh my gosh, Fairy! Okay, hang on. Let me stop for a second. So some of the live coders got this who came to TwitchCon, got this really cool mini Bluetooth keyboard, and I gave some out to some of our friends that were there as well, and I'm glad you enjoy it. You have an overwhelming urge for a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup and a Honda. Nice. You got 2 15-second ads. There you go. You haven't figured out the stand? Well, check this out. Okay, hang on. Let me. Here we go. Watch this. Give me a second here. I'm gonna show you a little something. So first off, the way the keyboard is in it is upside down. It came upside down. So you put it in like this so that it's at the bottom and this part is up at the top. Check this out. Take the top here and they magnet together, and now you've got a stand. Look at that! It is so cool. So I'm thinking of making some more cool travel swag like that for Europe. So, all right. So, all right, I swapped this out so that I'm receiving iService provider here. I don't need to pass in all these things now. So instead of receiving all of those arguments, see that? I didn't even finish this during that advertisement. So, and the idea is if I run enough ads, it will appropriately turn off the pre-roll advertisement. That's a good thing. So I'm now going to pass in the service provider when we create, and now down here, when we need these things, I'll just get them out of the service. Can somebody play the? I'll get them out of the service provider and return them. Right, words are hard. When you have the stand set up, no one can see the logo. True. This is true. Yeah. The other place they could have put the logo was on the bottom, at which point you really can't see the logo. All right, so I've changed that now so that Channel Manager Actor is receiving the iService provider when it creates. So now over here, when I do create, I'm going to pass in provider. After the actor system, like that. Let me copy those because they're going to become easy to use down here. Thank you for the follow. Who's our new follow there? Telos. Is it Telos? Let me know. Welcome. Thanks so much for joining us. And you're helping us reach our next goal here. I've got to update the title here. We're looking at making this something a little bit of a celebration when we hit 10,000 followers. But when we hit 8,200, we're going to give away another pack of stickers here live on stream. So we're about 28 followers away from our next sticker giveaway, and I do owe a pack of stickers to Rambling Geek. And we'll be sending that out soon. All right, so instead of HTTP client factory here, I'm going to just drop this in. All right, and that should be service provider. So the service provider, this is really cool, right? This is a way for us, hey, what do you mean you don't know how to get service? Non-generic method cannot be used with type arguments. Huh? What do you mean? No. Now, why does that work? Well, they're the same, right? It's iService provider in both locations, right? This is iService provider, right? And I'm able to do get service, blah, blah, blah. But I'm not able to do service provider, which is an iService provider dot get service. I think there's a using statement missing. I think it's this one. I think I'm missing that one. I'm just going to lob it in wherever here. I don't know. See? Haha, that worked now. Okay, so now chat logger was this right here. So I can take that, right? And I could say chat logger actor create, and I can pass in service provider. Now, why don't you just delete it? The follow hub context that's right here is this one. Like that. Man, that's really ugly. Okay, so channel configuration actor is passing in the data context and the HTTP client factory. Well, so I've already stashed a copy of that and I've fetched it appropriately. So I can get rid of that. The data context, right? So this is how we're interacting with data storage, is this one, iChannel configuration context. So we'll replace this with service provider. Does this make sense? We're getting these services, right? We've identified, we've built these services. They're available elsewhere in the application. And you know what? Let's wrap that a little bit so it's easier to read. Right? So here's the arguments we're passing in. So our channel configuration, right? This is where we're going to store for every channel that wants their own bot or set of widgets. They have a channel configuration. And that channel configuration actor that knows how to manage and interact with it has some way to interact with the data. We call that the channel configuration context. That's the data context. It knows how to save and read data appropriately. And it also has an HTTP client factory, so it knows how to send messages out to interact with the database. What are we doing here? How are we doing here? Yep, extension is not in the usings. We got that one. All right. How we doing, chat room? Am I on? Am I within bounds here? Does this feel good? I'm going to get rid of my little cheat sheet that I wrote here. So now the service provider is sitting here. So the other thing I can do is I can also have the channel manager actor listen for requests for services and return those. That's kind of cool. So now when we create the follower, the follower service actor over here, I need to get that bit of configuration right there. So what I'm going to do, I sound like I'm in a Shirley Temple movie. What are you going to do? I'm going to get the configuration sent over here is what I'm going to do. So let's see. I want to receive the configuration. So configuration is iConfiguration in .NET Core, right? And this has all the things wrapped up in it for either command line parameters, environment variable parameters that are passed in so that I can read this. So there's my configuration. I can stash that so I can reference it later. I also want to get information about the hosting environment, right? Hosting environment, because I want to detect if we're in, oh boy, if we're in the debug environment or not. Oh, you make me sad. What do you mean add obsolete? No, don't do that. Where was that? So is it I web hosting environment? Is that what I'm supposed to be using now? Right? No, not generate type. Where was it? That was over in startup. Help me out here, chat room. The hosting environment. Yeah, I web host environment. Woo! Yeah, I got it wrong. Okay, so now I should be able to control dot and get the appropriate using. All right, fine. You could refactor it even more with a dedicated service resolve actor to make it possible for any actor to request. Let every actor, I like how you spelled actor with an AK, request their own services without needing to change the parent actor. That's pretty good too. I like that idea, Stelzy. Can you do me a favor? Open that as an issue, and we'll look at making that a thing, because that feels like the right way to go here. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to stash those so I can reference them appropriately. So let's say, and I'm going to make this a private field. I don't want anybody else to access this. My configuration, right? I'm keeping my own copy of the configuration here. So I'm going to make this a read-only field. Nobody can change it. It's just there. And I'm also going to store a copy of the environment information. Because, right, down here now, where the callback happens, let's specify the callback URL. String callback URL equals, so I can say env, there we go. And now I can, right, where is it? I want to do that. What do you mean? Using extensions hosting. Yeah, please. Don't you know? Don't you know? Yes, okay, we found it. So I'm going to do this test. If the environment is development, actually, well, hang on. I'm going to turn this around a little bit also. I can get rid of this debug here. Thank you for the follow. ASCII only. Nice. Nice. We're using a little UTF-8 here. I'm going to apologize right now, ASCII only, but welcome. It's good to meet you, and I look forward to seeing you in the chat room. So I could say if the environment is development, we'll set 300 seconds as our lease time. Only send us messages for the next 5 minutes, right? That way, when we stop our development process, we're not using up extra Twitch resources. We're being a little bit of a good programming citizen to not request things for longer than we need them. But when we are in production, we should probably request for like 2 hours, for like an hour. Let's request for an hour, so we're refreshing once an hour. So 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, so that's 3,600 if we're in production. Okay. The callback URL, I think we just want to get this out of a configuration. I don't necessarily want to look at, right? So if I say configuration, well, what's our configuration file look like right now? Figure out where to put that. This is alias for checking compilation flag. No, actually, boom, boom. You're close. That's right. We're getting rid of hard-coded values in code. We're moving some of these around. When I had the pound if debug, that is checking for a conditional compilation flag, right? Is this compiled in debug mode? This is checking for the hosting environment. That's right, mindful coder. So when you build your application with ASP.NET Core and you run it, there's a hosting environment that's stored in the ASP.NET, I think it's ASP.NET Core hosting environment variable. If there is no value set, it defaults to the value production. So when we're in a production space, let's wait for an hour. When you override that and you're in your development environment, this is development will come back true. And we'll be able to do some things that are more environment friendly. Where are these environment values set? There's a launch JSON. Let me show you. And this is something that you'll see happen in other projects as well that are ASP.NET Core. You have launch settings JSON that specifies information about how your application starts and runs. So we're going to start the project here. When it does start, we're going to set that ASP.NET Core environment by default when we launch here to development. Thank you for the follow. Is that Gauder TV? Welcome. Do it, Gur. Welcome. Thanks so much for the follow. 24 followers to go. Oh man. So it's forcing it to development. Is it automatically production if the value isn't there? That's correct, Mindful Coder. So when you deploy to your production space, it'll by default do all the production things, right? There's some switches and things that ASP.NET Core will do that are more production friendly than development friendly. A great way that you can see some development friendly environment things that are configured for you is down here in the startup. When it configures the HTTP pipeline, there's this check here. If we're in development mode, turn on that developer exception page, right? That yellow screen we used to see in ASP.NET Core, well, now it's a white screen with a little blue text, and it's a little bit friendlier and happier looking. So we'll use that developer exception page when we're in development mode because you as a developer want to see the stack trace and all that stuff. In production, we don't want them to see that. So don't do that. Don't output that thing in production. Hannah Kefu says, shouldn't an async task always return a result? Well, no, because it's async. So it's not returning a result. If it's just returning a task, yes, you do want to return a result. If it's not asynchronous. Because you might kick up different tasks, return those tasks, and the caller is going to decide what to do with it. Let me go back over to that app settings file. App settings, that one in my same project. So right now, I have bot config here, my auth0 configuration, and these are configured somewhere else outside of here. So I think I should add... Right, I need to specify the URL, right? So let's just add another one here. Let's call this host URL. And I know there's a value that's specified, right, that Docker and Azure and other cloud providers specify for that URL. So, yes, async void is a very bad idea, and we're not doing that. Can you do a task wait all with async void? No. You need to return. The task needs to know what's being returned. So, 3V, good afternoon. Good to see you. So, I'll drop in whatever the URL is here. This also, like I said, can be injected as an environment variable, and we'll be able to reference it there. So, let's just use that host URL here. Okay. So that'll give me the callback URL, and I can specify that here. It's not a string. Come on. There we go. All right. So now I've got it specified outside of my application. I can pass it in. So when I start up ngrok, in my case, I'll drop it into my app settings JSON, and that'll be loaded properly with the ngrok URL. So that'll work. And I think that's all I really need. Well, okay, hang on. I also need to pass in these other two, the configuration and the iWebHost environment. When I start that up inside of channel manager, not channel configuration, channel manager actor, when it creates create follower actor here. And actually, I don't think I need to pass that in, right? Because the service provider is just available for us. So I can get rid of that. Yeah? And actually, Do we even use that? Let's do a little refactoring here. Follow hub context. Is this being used at all? Right? It has one reference, and it's actually right there. So I don't even need this. Let's get rid of you. Which means I don't need this. Which means I don't need that. That's better. Okay. So, create follow actor. I don't need to receive that. Okay, so my parameters I'm passing in right now are those two. I don't need that anymore. But I do need service provider, get service, configuration, right? And I also need service provider, get service, and it was iWeb host environment. Yuck. Yuck. Now I've got some squigglies here. If I control space, I'll get my using statements. And
boom goes the dynamite.
Hey, Bandit Dave, good to see you. All right. I think that works. I think that works. So now I've got my follower actor being created appropriately. What's this up here? Why are we seeing that? Data context. Do I need the data context anywhere else? It's only referenced in the one place. There's another one I can get rid of. Get rid of that. I think we're in good. Who doesn't love Dynamite, the SWAT team? Maybe.
Danger's my middle name.
He doesn't like it either. Right? Okay, so I think we've refactored. We've simplified that a little bit here. So now my follower service actor knows to pull that URL from outside. Good. You know what? I can... Let me go back over here just to make sure. You know what? Hang on. Hang on. I think I made a mistake. Yeah, I did. That callback URL needs to... where'd it go? That callback URL, right? Can you show me the change there? Thank you. Needs to have /API/follower on the end. So let's do this. Let's make this a URI. Actually, I can var that, can't I? And say new URI here, right? And make this, right, isn't there like a join or something in here? No. New URI, that, and add on, no, /API/follower. Right? Was that it? I like this little doodad here. /API/follower. So by doing it this way... Ugh. There we go. Right? So now I'm kind of getting a little bit of proper concatenation by running it through the URI object there. Oh no, a mistake! Yes, that's right.
You're amazing. You figured this all out already.
You did, JAF 1021. Good to see you.
We get some meatloaf! We want it now! The meatloaf!
What's she doing? I never know what she's doing.
It's almost lunchtime, then we could use some meatloaf. Thanks so much for tuning in, Mom. Great to see you today. Okay. So I think that works properly now. I think. I think we're all right there. So we've simplified it now, so we're receiving the URL from outside. If I go start up ngrok again, oh, I don't have my terminal running. Okay. Let's take a look down here. Right, so now I could start ngrok here. Right? It's not here. Where'd it go? Is it up one? It is. There it is. It doesn't matter where I start it. No, it doesn't. Right. I forget. What did it... I want to say... right, HTTP to HTTPS, localhost 5001, and now it's running, and there's my URL. I could actually use both. We kind of... Hey! Rats. Right. Copy link. Let me start a new tab. Too big. So now I can update, where'd it go? App settings, and I can punch that URL in there, which still feels kind of clunky, you know? Hey, Bricky. So ngrok lets us tunnel our requests in from the public internet at a public URL. It'll send those messages into us. So now the other thing that was suggested is maybe we can just query the ngrok API endpoint directly instead of keying that in there. I'm not opposed to that at all. That's not a bad idea at all. The more and more I think about that, right? If I go to this web interface here, right? Check this out. To get started, make a request to one of your tunnel, blah, blah, blah. Right, but there was a endpoint that we could hit here and we could get the configuration. Not the documentation. What was it to hit? 4040 API tunnels. Is that like linked here somewhere? I don't see it. Hey, there we go. So we could pick up... I don't care about the metrics. Right, it's the public URL there is what I want. Right, and there's two of them. I mean, I could just grab one of them. Hugo read the docs for it. Hugo. Alka. Good to see you.
Shame.
Hugo was reading documentation. Bah. All right. So let's do this. Let's query against this. It's coming back as XML. Can I request this and get JSON? I'd really like JSON, please. Is that so wrong? Let's see if we can make this request. And see if it behaves if we say accept JSON. I'm changing the rules here. Fine. Edit and resend. Accept application, and that's really small. I apologize. And it returned JSON. We can do something with that. Unaccepted, unsupported, accept header. Oh, because I spelled application JSON wrong. Darn it. Send. Document JSON. Good. Now we got it. That's what I want. Now we can traverse that. Someone is planning to use a new thing in .NET Core. No. It's not a new thing. We're going to write a new thing. So let's put together... Where do I put this? That'll identify the public URL. That feels like a method that's really easy to use. Let's... Right, I have... Is HTTP client factory here? There's the HTTP client that it created. I suppose I can reuse it for this one time that I'm bouncing off of it. Right? Yes, .NET Core 3 did include a new JSON parser serializer. It's supposed to be significantly faster because it's using the new the new memory span technology, which is extremely fast. I'm still, for right now, a fan of using Newtonsoft JSON. There's a couple of quirks that I've seen that I want to make sure are ironed out before I get fully committed in there. So, let's do this. So let's put together a private... No. This is going to be a private URI that it returns. Get ngrok URI. Tunnel URI. Right? And we're just going to create, let's say, using var client. Well, I don't have the HTTP client. I can just reuse the same client, right? That's up here, right? It created it and it's hanging out there. Having that one client always around doesn't... I'm not sure that's a good thing. I think I should I should create the client whenever I need it. Yeah. Let's stash a copy of the HTTP client factory. Let's not. Let's fix that. Get rid of this. What do you mean there's no actions available? Of course there are. HTTP client factory. There we go. Okay. So now we got a thing. So now further down here, look at the reds in the gutter. You can see where I broke it. So now let me come down here where it goes, and it wants to do that post right here. I'm going to wrap this message so that we're only getting the client now. Var client equals client factory, create client. Go do your interactions, log, blah, blah, blah. This way it'll also dispose of it properly. Hey. I didn't want to... That's an extra paren there. Go away. That's better. Okay. So now down here where I'm going to do... let's see. Now I can say client factory. Does client factory have a dispose? No, it doesn't. So I don't need to dispose of that. I'm okay there. Ooh, what happened here? I didn't mean to... Whatever, go away. To do... Should we unsubscribe from our webhook subscriptions? I don't know. Thank you for the follow, Valerian. Welcome. All right, so now when I need to get that tunnel URI, so let's do using var client equals client factory, create client. Really? What are you doing? Oh, wait a sec. OmniSharp went kablooey. That's what happened. How do I restart that? Ew. Okay, so how do I restart it? Right? Like, go. Restart. Make things better. I miss you, OmniSharp. And I'm just going to give it a... Yeah, just create a client. I don't care. Create a simple client. That's all I need. Go do the thing. I have a feeling I should do a reload, right? Open and close VS Code. Well, if I do the reload, it should restart OmniSharp at the same time here. So, all the things. I'm looking down here. I'm looking for you. See, it's coming up. Hey. Sudo makes things better. Good to see you, Fall In. Whether you want a singleton, HTTP client, or a refactor will depend a lot on the nature of your load and on your garbage collection. Even when you dispose of them expediently, you can still run out of sockets quite quickly. Yes, you're not wrong. Sure, go ahead and add them. Some projects are having problem loading. Okay, fine. Yeah, we done broke this. Womp womp. I'm gonna have to close and restart VS Code, I think. At the very least, right? Let's see how far I can get along here. So we're gonna want to, and I'm not gonna get the thing popping up here. Thank you for the follow. Oh boy. Welcome. Did the unit test tell you? No, it didn't tell me that. It just crashed and burned. My goodness. This isn't loading. Now I feel bad. But I'm going to client, I'm going to get async. And what was it? Was it HTTPS or just HTTP? HTTP. I'll just copy that. Bazinga. And yeah, let me restart so I can be sure I get all the appropriate things here. So let's exit. Go up a folder. And I know I need to set up a workspace for this so it has recommended extensions and some things like that. So let's see if we can get OmniSharp running on the right way here now. Right? Come on, OmniSharp. Come on, OmniSharp.
You can do it!
There we go. Looks like it's running. Fantastic. I feel better about myself now. What do you mean you have trouble loading? Nah, it's working just fine. Yes. I'm not launching a project. Alright. There we go. So when we fetch, I want to get, I want to specify that I want JSON content type. Are we still unable to configure enabled extensions for the workspace? Don't know, I haven't tried it. It's that Solus Pyre. Ah, Solus Pyre. There we go. Any good intro to C# tutorials out there? There's a couple of videos that we've done on this channel that you can find on a playlist on the YouTube archive. But what I would suggest, if you're looking for some C# help, if you're getting started with C#, our friend Fierce Kittens is going to be doing a brand new series on Friday nights for folks who are fresh to development, haven't touched this before, and want to build a desktop application. So check her out. Thank you for the shout out, Hugo. Yeah. Zero Peppermint, welcome. Thank you for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you in the chat room. And we're 21 followers from our next giveaway. Oh man. Oh man, but I am quickly running out of time here. So I'm going to get that. I want to specify the accept header here. No. 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 Okay. I need to... Right, if I want to specify the accept header, right, there's the default request headers. Add. There we go. Accept... And it was application JSON. We need to throw an @ in front of that because the slash is an escape character in .NET strings. So let's move that up. So we're going to tell it get asynchronously that tunnels. I don't want to just get it asynchronously. I want to get that string. You know, we need to make this an async task of type URI. Because we're going to await this. And that's our payload that's being returned. Good. So this is saying, go get that and release the thread until we get back. When it does come back, dump it into this value and continue processing this method. Thank you for the follow, Delta JCKC. Welcome, Delta. Good to see you. Yes, Hugo, well, wait a sec. Right, I'm going to have to put an @ sign there, aren't I? Or am I thinking backslash? Am I okay on this? Did I do this right? No, I don't need to put the @ there. I'm thinking backslash. That's what I'm thinking. Aren't I? Rats. URI out value. Let's make that available here. So it allocates space for it. What do you mean? No. No. It's going to give me an error there. Why? I know. Okay. We should get a value here. So, how is it? We did that query through... it wasn't that one. Remember we did this query yesterday where we went and we dug out information from the JSON that was returned? Do you remember this? Yes, Bricky, you're right. Firefox by default does ask for XML. I think we can... I don't need this one right now. Did we do it over here? Yes. Yes! Oh, I created an object to receive it. Alright. Well, we did a little bit... We tried to do a little bit of this with Newtonsoft JSON yesterday. So what I should be able to do, right, is...
Hey, listen.
Yes. Yeah, there it was. That was it, jobject.parse. Thank you. So I should be able then to say out value equals new URI, jobject. I've got an extra cap in there. Control dot, come on. Get my using statement. Parse, and I should be able to parse the... Okay, so now I've got that, and now I can start wandering down it, right? I can navigate that content. So I'm going to go tunnels, and I want to find the one that has the HTTPS. Can I just say tunnel 0 and grab the first one there? Can I just do that? Tunnels 0, right? And public URL. So, what don't you like about that? Can I convert from JToken to string? So now I have to put a string on that. And that should give me the URI from ngrok. Should. So if I go up here, what I might be able to do... Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. So now I can say env is development get ngrok tunnel URI. Or pull the URI out of there. Now this... Yep. Oh. Colon. Now, right. There we go. So now I'm going to get the... If it is development mode, we'll get the ngrok tunnel URI and pass that along. And it'll jam API follower on the end of it. The Mindful Coder, you're in South Africa. Oh my goodness. 11:55 in the evening in Malaysia. Well, thank you for tuning in, Odin Hassan. I appreciate you joining us. It's great seeing some of our friends from all over the world tuning in. Malaysia, South Africa, Ohio. Ohio? Yes, Ohio. Texas. Wait, I should say Texas like they say it in all of the beauty contests, right? That kind of thing. They don't just say Texas, they say Texas, right? Something like that. Philippines, the .NET dev. Good to see you. Spain. Oh my goodness, yes. So we got friends in Europe, in Africa. We got Asia. Anybody from Antarctica watching? Massachusetts. Not that exciting. Canada. We the North. Angry Little Hamster. Yes. The UK. Austria. Yeah. The Pluto Nan is on the moon. Amazing. Costa Rica, Croatia, Belgium, the Caribbean, NOLA, New Orleans, Oregon. Oh my goodness, look at this. The King of the North is going. He moved to LA. Well, he did. Let's see if we can get this to work now. If it'll pick up. We should log. It's log. Wait, we should. Hang on. Do that right, Jeff. You've got this. You know what we should do? We should log the URL. Okay, we don't need any more of that. Let me get the logger here. The Akka logger equals context dot right. This logger right here. Context get logger. So now I can say logger dot log level. That one. Debug, sure. And let's say fetched ngrok public URL of, and we'll put the out value there. Cool. Let's see if this works. So ngrok is currently running. It's right there. So let's run the application. Yeah. No, not. My typing is getting worse and worse, isn't it, chat room? 20 followers to the next giveaway. Nice. The log song was a childhood favorite of MBB's and his brother. For Christmas one year when you were like 5 and 8 years old, we got Mom a log and painted log on it. That's funny. Annapolis, Sweden, Missouri. We need a map. What do we need a map for? Oh, GS Volt. You're not wrong. That would be fun if we had a map. Angry Little Hamster, more power to you when you win. When your team, your town wins a pro sports championship, it's a very fun thing. When my Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl here, people were kind of happy. All right, so let's join to C# Fritz. Ooh, we got some stuff here. Look at that. Payload sending to Twitch. That looks good. We're as a warning, just so it stuck out. That wasn't too bad. Set to there. Sending request. It didn't actually. Right there is HTTP client logging that information. I guess because Akka wasn't set to log debug level, it didn't output that information. But it got that location properly. Yeah, it got the right endpoint. Go Eagles! Thank you so much, Angry Little Hamster. I agree. So it sure looks like it's properly listening for followers. Right? Hey, look at that. So if I go to here, and we look at the user activity train widget, yep, nothing's happening. How do you not need to URL encode the callback URL? Asks Frego. So the callback URL that's being passed here, this is being turned into a JSON object here, and it's being posted as the body of the request. So we don't need to URL encode it because it is in the body. It's not on the URL bar. So a rotating globe that has pins on it for each viewer's location. Size of the pin grows based on amount of viewers watching in that area. Pretty cool idea. Pretty cool idea. That could be a very cool Twitch extension. Now, there is another problem here where the train, if I navigate away from the train, it'll lose its status. Right? We could build that, certainly. You've seen an extension for that already? Yeah, there is an extension for the map. For, like, the countries where folks are dialed in from. So, if there's anybody out there that isn't a follower, if you click the follow button, we should see this pop up. Okay. So at this point, it looks like it's all running properly. And I think we've done that refactoring very nicely. We've made it very easy to use. Let's do this. I gotta look at my schedule here today. I'm making sure I don't mess this up. Yeah, I do have a meeting in a half an hour. So, here's what I'm going to do. Let's do this. There we go. So, it picked up a follow. Now, we didn't see an alert for the follow. So, Stream Elements didn't see this. So, what did... I'm in Windows mode there. Right, what did we receive over here? Post for a follower. Do it, jur. Okay, we see that came through. And the other ones all centered because it's always a duplicate. Not terrible. Okay. Right, it's still doing the same functionality. We still have to come back and talk about doing the improvement so that it dedupes appropriately the followers that we have, so we don't get duplicate alerts. Let's do one more thing while we have this here. What do you say? Can we do one more thing? How about one more thing while we're here? I'd like to do one more thing. So the user activity train is this, and it says train has been going for. Hey, Carrie, with the follow trigger. I see you there. Thank you so much. And it extended the train. Cool. If I'm correct, right? So our controller here, it notifies, yeah, the new follower and their name. So what if we go over to our view over here? And when we receive that information, right, we need to figure out the animation here. Where is it? New follower name. There we go. Track new followers. Okay. We should put on the screen, right? And it's not doing anything there yet. Rats, it won't. I don't have to go back. I tried to use the back mouse button and it didn't go anywhere. Let's do this. Let's put a thing on the screen that says latest follower. Just so we can see it for testing here. Span ID equals latest follower. And we'll say latest follower. Something like that. I think that works. So now we'll create a property called latest follower. And we'll just have to set that value. Right? So, no. It's in the model back here. So I'm going to, up here, public string latest follower get set, and we'll set it to the empty string to start. So there's always a value there. So when we receive that latest follower, right here, thank you for the follow, the HTML dude. Great to see you. Thanks for tuning in. And it didn't extend the train. Did I lose my connection? Did I stop this? Oh, you know what? No, it's only 5 minutes. So it stopped. So that's another thing we have to do is we need to have it renew the train. So this counter, so I can say now latest follower equals new follower name. Right, and this is a little bit of Blazor that we're doing here. Right, we're taking C# and we're injecting it right into the output that we're displaying. So let me cancel this, restart it. I'll have to rejoin the channel. But I think we have all of our follower ngrok configuration, right? The URL configuration. I think we have that done. I think we have that built and ready to go here. And in a much better place. So let me refresh that. What am I programming now? So we're refactoring a little bit of our webhook work that we did yesterday to make it a little bit easier to work with. Now that's not returning anything for some reason. Current channels. Join my channel. There we go. Go back over here. View the user activity train. So we should see, there's latest follower. We should see that information load up when there is a new follower. But it's only going to track for 5 minutes. So it won't even get through a complete, right, one turn of the train. So we'll take care of this and we'll check in our code. We'll call it a day. Do the resend in ngrok. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. Where was it? There we go. So I'll grab this one. Here's our new follower, Carrie Payette. You might know her. So I pushed that through. There it is. Latest follower, and it just received and updated that information. Nice. So, I think we're in a great place. Let's wrap up. Let's clean up our code here. Push it out to GitHub. All right. So I'm going to go over here, cancel this, go up a step. No, I didn't want to do that. Git status. Holy crow! Look at all that mono crash information. Let's get rid of that. Ooh. Mono crash. Bye-bye. Much better. All right, so I'm going to commit all of my changed files, and we're going to say updated to make configuration of the URL and ngrok easier when developing. Yeah, thank you, Carrie, for the cheer. You like the Mario music? I do too. All right, I will push that out to my repository. There you go. And that's available for anybody to take a look at, you want to tinker with, you want to explore. Be my guest. It's available for anybody to explore. I wanted to run another ad in there just to try and push things through. If that prompt is broken, what's broken about my prompt? Let me know. I'm happy to try out some other prompts here. Let's set up a raid. We need to raid somebody today. And you know who we need to raid? We haven't raided. Thank you for the follow. Let's try raiding. Here's somebody we haven't raided. Somebody who's doing a brand new project and he's in Europe. We haven't raided for a very long time. So let's set up for the raid. If you're a subscriber, grab the top line of that. If you're not a subscriber, grab the second line. Copy that onto your clipboard. We're going to go raid Codebase Alpha. He's another one of the live coders. That's S&B. You've seen him here in chat. And we're going to say hello. We're going to announce ourselves loud and proud when we get over there to Codebase Alpha. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining us. He's starting on a brand new project here. He's making a Z80 emulator in C#. That sounds really cool. I encourage you to check it out. Stick around and see what's going on with our friend S&B over there. And I'll be back tomorrow. We'll write some more code. We'll move on to the next issue here. I'm going to close out the issue that this was connected to after we go offline. But I hope you have a good time with S&B. All right, friends. Take care, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.